How do you know if someone is secretly against you? You don't need to decide what someone intended for you to understand what you need. The moment you start asking who's against you, clarity has already left the room. And that doesn't mean you're in danger. That just means you're overwhelmed. Today, we're not talking about enemies, and we're not talking about betrayal. We're talking about what happens when empaths feel something shift and don't know what to do with that feeling. Because if you've ever walked away from a conversation thinking, why do I feel off right now? Well, then this conversation is for you. This matters because when empaths don't understand a feeling, they don't ignore it. They turn it into a question about someone else. So let's talk about how that happens. Empaths don't wake up reading the room. Mind reading starts when something doesn't sit right, and instead of pausing, we start explaining. Here's a simple example. Let's say you're talking to a romantic partner, you share something important, and their response is flat. They don't argue, they don't disagree, they just change the subject. Later that night, you start to replay it. Did I say too much? Maybe they're stressed. Maybe I'm being sensitive. That's mind reading. Not because you're dramatic, but because you felt something shift and didn't know how to translate it. So your brain filled in the gap. Here's the real mistake we make. We confuse discomfort with danger and uncertainty with intent. The danger isn't that people have bad intentions. The danger is assigning intention where there's only misalignment. Misalignment just means you and another person are not moving in the same direction. That can happen at work. That can happen with family. That can happen with friends. And it doesn't require anyone to be wrong. But when we assume intent instead of noticing direction, we create stories that feel urgent, even when nothing is actually attacking us. So how do we know this is happening inside of us and we're not bugging, like someone is really not trying to secretly sabotage us? Here's what this usually looks like internally. You replay conversations, you soften what you said after the fact, you wonder if you misunderstood, and then you start searching for hidden meaning. And the key thing is, you don't feel angry. You feel foggy. The fog isn't intuition failing you. It's your system trying to make sense of mixed signals. Ask yourself, after certain interactions, do you feel clearer or more confused? Because clarity is the body's yes. Confusion is the signal. So instead of guessing motives, here's what actually helps. Instead of asking, what do they mean? Ask questions that give you your power back. Ask yourself this. Do I feel clearer or more confused after having this interaction with them? Do I feel expanded or contracted? Do I feel more like myself or less? Intuition answers impact questions, not motive questions. Your body doesn't lie about impact. And once you see that clearly, something important happens. You don't need to decide what someone intended for you to understand what you need. You don't need certainty to pause access. You don't need proof to take space. And you don't need a villain to choose yourself. Clarity isn't confrontation. It's permission. Permission to stop explaining. Permission to stop shrinking. Permission to trust what your system already knows. And here's where it gets real simple. When you stop trying to read minds, you start reading reality. Clarity doesn't accuse, it informs. In the next part, we're going to talk about what real opposition actually looks like. Because when it's real, it's never secret and it's never quiet. If this helped you trust yourself a little more, subscribe. And if you know an empath or a neurodivergent person who's been doubting their instincts, share this with them. That's the only way this could reach more people like you.